These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer.
Paragold has luxury home's largest selection of outdoor furniture, lighting, decor, and more. Discover pieces in every style from more than 2,000 of design's best brands. Shop in-store or online at Paragold.com. Paragold, luxury lives here.
Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. Hey, weirdos. I am Ash.
And I am Elena.
And this is Morbid. I did that thing where I almost said I'm Elena. I don't know why that happens so frequently.
You just, you feel it in your bones.
We're related, I guess.
We are.
What's
up, everybody?
Hey, Elena's alive again. That's nice.
I saw that most people also have contracted this viral plague that none of us can figure out what it is.
Yeah, it's something.
It'll kick your ass, though.
Yeah.
And I know, here's just one little thing. When somebody gets sick, saying, "You're always sick," is not helpful in any way.
No, don't say that.
So don't do that.
Not you listening.
No.
That other person
just
listening.
Whoever said that, okay.
Shut up.
Thank you.
Shut up.
Helpful.
Put them up.
But yeah, it sucks. And my littlest one had the flu. And yes, kids are always sick.
She had the saddest little cough that
the
I ever did
saddest little
hear.
cough.
I said, she was like,
yeah,
it just, oh.
I think, yeah.
It was so like hoarse.
It was. It really was. And she was like down for the count for a couple days, but she kicks things in the face. She does not hold on to them long. She's like, "Hey, you don't get to stay here."
No, she was still coughing, but she said,
"Fuck that, I'm
the
fine."
best of them.
Yeah, she was like, "I'm going outside in the snow, bye."
Yeah, she was like, she actually like admonished me for not having snow pants.
Yeah, she was like, "We're going outside."
I said, "I'm sorry, I don't have them." And she was like, "Well, will you get some?" And I was like, "Probably not, because we're going. Maybe."
But yeah, so hopefully everybody who has this plague, you can I feel much better because I'm on antibiotics now.
Can I tell you something? You look so much better.
Oh yeah, I looked like The Walking Dead.
Christmas morning, I woke up and looked at you and I said, maybe it's just because it's early.
Yeah,
and then the day progressed and I said, maybe something's actually really wrong
Maybe it's
here.
getting worse.
Yeah, you looked really good on your birthday though.
Appreciate.
Yeah. I said that to her on her birthday and she goes, "I'm wearing so much makeup right now." It didn't look like it.
Because it was the first time I put on makeup in like 1,000 years at that point. Because yeah, it was Christmas Eve that I really really started feeling it.
Christmas Eve,
like,
you looked great, but I could
my
tell
throat
you were
hurt.
off a little bit.
Yeah, it was like I was trying to be like, okay, maybe it's just the dry air, you know.
When you had to be like the hostess with the mostest.
So I was like, you know, my throat was razor blades, and I was like, I think it's fine. It's dry, because that happens during the winter sometimes. Like, you wake up and you're like, oh, I have a sore throat. What is this? And you're like, drier.
I keep waking up with like a little bit of like a bloody nose. Not like
see, that's
running,
but like dry.
Yeah.
So it was Christmas morning. I woke up and I was like, uh-oh. But I just pretended everything was fine because it's Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
It was great. Such a fun morning.
And I really only let it fall once the kids had gone to sleep on Christmas Day. I was like, yeah, I don't feel well, everybody.
No.
And then it was, 8 days of
bullshit.
No moment of feeling better. Like, I was waking up every morning being like, what is this? Because usually I feel better after a few days. You know, like a couple days in, you're like, all right, I'm starting to get on the other side of it.
I hate to admit this, but even my pastina could not cure her.
No.
My pastina has cured many a thing in the past.
And I ate it all.
Yeah, well, this time I made the pastina, you had that, and now hopefully the bisque will kick the last of it out of you.
Yeah.
I made her a sweet potato bisque with like a shit ton of siracha in it.
I'm really excited for that.
Also, I know you're not like a soupy girl, so I did see this girlie on TikTok put it over ground beef.
Ooh.
And I was like, it sounds a little weird, but I was like, that looks like it'd be really good.
Sounds kind of good to me.
Yeah, it kind of makes it almost like a chili.
Yeah, I like that. Ooh, I might try
Check
that.
it.
But yeah, I had one day of a 14.5-hour headache.
Yeah.
That I thought I was like, well, this is it. Goodbye, cruel world.
Oh,
like,
God.
I was literally like, this is how I go.
I would have been so angry.
I cried several times.
You cried?
Yes, like, just out of pure frustration of like, I can't get away from this pain and I need to do something about it.
That's the saddest thing I ever did here.
It was bad. This was a bad sickness.
Damn.
It's not fun. And I know a lot of you are dealing with it too, because a lot of people were like, yup, same, plague over here, like feeling it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't have any tips for you, because the only thing that worked for me was my doctor giving me an antibiotic, because I finally got a sinus infection. And I got like
that was a crazy way to say that.
Sinus.
I finally got a sinus
finally
infection.
got a sinus infection.
I've been waiting for one.
But I got like he called it something. And so he was like,
Z-Pack?
I'm going to put you, no, like the infection that I had.
Oh.
And he was like, I'm going to put you on an antibiotic. And it was the only thing that made me feel better.
It's insane because I was with you for like a lot of this. Drew was with you. John was with you, and none of us are sick. And I would like to, right here on this mic right now, shout out to my immune system.
Yeah, for real.
I've been taking a shit ton of elderberry and zinc.
Well, you never get sick.
Don't you dare. Why the fuck did you just say that?
No, I was being a dick because I get you're always sick.
Yeah, Elena's always sick. Don't say that to me. God damn it.
You can have
I rebuke you.
No, you have a good immune system.
I think so anyways, which is like kind of shocking for a life I led for a while, but you know, what are you going to do?
I think my system was in fight or flight for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I think it's just shat all over my immune system.
Mine is just like, I think I was born in fight or flight.
Yeah,
so my body's just like, what's up? What else is new?
You have more time to get used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, thank you so much for the birthday wishes.
Yeah, this bitch is 40.
But they're still coming in, and you guys are amazing, and you made me feel really good.
40 is the new 30.
It is.
40 is a great age, I feel.
It's just a goddamn number.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about
Time's made up. It's not even, realistically, it's not even the new year. I've been seeing so many, I follow so many witchy accounts now that it's like, it's not the new year.
I mean, it feels like the new year.
No, but it's not though, because the earth is still resting. It's still frigid. We're supposed to be hibernating. The new year's in the spring when like life pops up from the ground again.
Oh, see, I like New Year being in winter because it's like it cleans everything.
Yeah.
It feels clean. It feels anew.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that new to me.
That's also what that old man told Frankenstein's monster in Frankenstein. He said, in the winter, the world is clean.
It is clean. And I do like that.
I agree.
Yeah, such a good movie. If you guys haven't seen Frankenstein, you got to go check it out. I think we talked about this already.
I think I might talk about it every time we talk. Like,
honestly, we should.
I remain obsessed with that movie.
Again, also, I feel like I was just shocked because I didn't think, like, not for any, like, particular reason. It's just, like, not, like, super up my alley. Like, I wouldn't have thought it would be.
Yeah.
But then when I watched it, I was, like, blown away. So
it's Guillermo.
Give it a chance if you're on the fence.
Anything Guillermo is attached to, I'm in.
I can't believe that I didn't just like come into the episode screaming this. Tomorrow night, we're going to be on Watch What Happens Live.
I still can't believe that that's a real thing.
Tomorrow night, we're going to be on Watch What the Fuck Happens Live with Andy motherfucking Cohen. And I don't know how to function on a basic human level with that thought in my mind. And I still don't know what I'm wearing yet.
No,
Am I deciding between 8 dresses? Yeah, I sure am. Yeah. It's SLC night. I need to look like I need to look like snowflake vibes, but like fierce vibes. If Bronwyn's there, I got to be camp. Like, there's a lot to figure out.
There is.
And nobody cares what I look like that
honestly,
night, but I do.
I'm here for the vibes. I'm excited to just watch you flip the like, I'm excited because I love Bravo shows, but this is real. I'm very excited to see Ash live this.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to live it, but on like a different level.
We're living it on different levels.
I'm very excited, but I just like, I know what this means to Ash, so I'm very excited.
I appreciate that, and I'm excited to live it, to watch you live it, because you get to announce something pretty exciting.
I do.
That we can't say yet,
but
watch this space.
You will know if you watch What Happens, you'll know.
10:15 tomorrow night,
or
check it.
If you watch this space in our socials the following day on the 7th, then you will know I'm announcing something.
I can't wait.
And I bet you can't imagine what it is.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Guys,
I'm very excited.
So many cool things are happening. We had Elisa Kelly here, and she was telling us about like our personal charts and how like abundant this like next year or so is going to be.
It will be.
And then I'm taking an astrology class, and my teacher like echoed the same sentiment, and she said, she was like, wow, you're going to be busy as fuck like the next year or so. Like it's going to be and she was like, it's going to be like so successful though. And it was the same thing that Elisa said. And then everything that I've learned, I'm like, oh shit, I think it might be like super abundant.
Let's go.
And that's for both of us.
I'm in.
Yeah. We have great
excited.
Jupiter placements, and I just like to thank the universe.
Yeah, the year 2026
it's the year of the
starting
horse.
off on a fun note, on a happy note, on a note of letting go of things that don't serve anymore. It's the first year that we're starting off at Sirius.
Yes.
So I feel
that's so abundant.
so different.
That's an abundant energy right there. Abundance of happiness, optimism.
Yeah, it felt very
freedom.
Different. This clock flipping over, I said, whoop.
You know those candles where like people will like tie them together and then they light them to like separate the ties, which we did at a certain point.
We did at one point.
At time. It feels like that.
For no particular reason.
No particular reason. But yeah, it feels like that is finally like coming into play. You know what I mean?
It feels good.
It does. It feels
really
very
good. It feels like we can have a lot of fun this year with the show and with the rewatcher and with Scream, and all these fun people are going to be on the pod.
And Sirius just gets us. Like we should say Sirius is the reason that we're going to be on Watch What Happens Live, because our deal lead Carrie, what's up Carrie?
Love you Carrie,
figured it all out, because she knows that like I'm a huge fan. She knows that you are like a New York Housewives fan. She's like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah. So and they just made it happen. So
Sirius is the best.
They've been wonderful.
And Carrie is the best.
Working with them.
And that was my computer talking to us because it said I'm the best too.
You know?
What's not the best is that bad things happen in life, and we talk about them, but the good thing is that we can talk about them together.
We can.
And that's the whole premise of the show.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
I really liked that.
Thank you so much. So we're going to be talking today about the pizza bomber conspiracy.
Oh.
Yeah. I think we talked about this like briefly in an episode, because I kept waking up in the night to the trailer on Netflix.
I remember
for this.
that vividly.
So do I.
Yes.
It was just this one picture that was very frightening.
Yeah, because what is the name of the documentary? It's like
Evil something? Evil Genius?
I think it's something like that. Evil Genius.
Genius, yeah.
And I vividly remember that, and I remember you were like, I keep waking up to this.
I think it was like earlier days of the pod when I was a little more free with my words. I probably was super explicit about how that made me feel back then.
I mean, it's rough.
It was scary.
That is not something it came out in 2018.
Yes, so it was early days of the pod.
Absolutely early.
Go back and you'll know exactly how I felt about waking up to that.
Yep.
But let's actually talk about the story, because this is something we like I just said briefly talked about, but we've never gone into full detail.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So we'll start at the beginning.
It's a great place to start.
I always say. I can't believe also this happened in like 2003, by the way, which is nuts.
I know, which feels like it was 10 years ago.
Oh, to me, not at all.
Oh, literally, it feels like it was 10. Like what I literally said, here's to 2006 last night.
Yeah, that's
when
on,
me and my kids and my husband cheered
that's on
with our
cold
apple cider
medicine.
or sparkling cider.
2006.
And John was like, it's 2026, babe.
Yeah, he said you're 20
And
years
I was like,
off,
first
doll.
of all, I'm on cold medicine. And second of all, can it be 2006 again?
You said, let women have opinions,
Let
John,
me
on
live,
the time frame.
okay?
You said,
Let me live.
trust women. It's 2006. So, all right. So it was not 2006 here. It was 2003. And it was a little past 2:30 in the afternoon when 46-year-old Brian Wells walked into the lobby of the PNC Bank on August 23rd. At first, nobody really noticed him. He was just kind of like another guy sitting in a line of customers. But when he got to the counter, the teller was caught off guard. Because in his right hand, Brian was holding what kind of looked like a cane, but he wasn't using it as a cane. Like, it didn't look functional.
That would upset me.
Yeah, that'd be pretty upsetting. What would be even more upsetting is in the other outstretched hand, he held what investigators later described as an extensive note for the teller. Ugh. The note, part of it said, gather employees with access codes to vault and work fast to fill bag with $250,000.
Damn.
You have only 15 minutes.
Oh. I would immediately lose my mind.
Bitch, if I have $100 in cash, I can't count that in 15 minutes. That takes a minute.
Me?
That'd be so stressful. So when the teller looked up from the note, Wells lifted his shirt to reveal a really bizarre device that looked like it was locked around his neck with a large handcuff, like what looked to be a large handcuff. Ugh. And on the front of the cuff, there was a small box that allegedly contained an explosive device with an electronic timer that was hanging down over his chest. You got to look up pictures of this to like really get a picture of it. It's the most horrifying thing you will ever see. But according to the note that he handed the teller, the device was rigged to explode within 15 minutes. And if they didn't hand over that amount of cash in that time frame, everybody in the bank, including Brian, would be killed in the explosion. So the teller explained that that wasn't going to be possible because the bank vault was on a timer. So there was literally no way that they could get inside to get that money. So instead, they all emptied the cash from the drawers into the bag, which was a total of $8,702. Very different from $250,000.
Yeah.
And they handed it over to him. He took a lollipop and slowly made his way out the door.
The fact that he took a lollipop just really sends me.
Not only did he take a lollipop, he was also like swinging the cane as he walked out the door, just like gingerly. Wearing an explosive device strapped around his neck and chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once he got outside, he hopped into his Geo Metro and he sped away from the scene while the staff in the bank said, "Hello, 911, I would like to report a fucking robbery."
Hello?
About 15 minutes later, 2 state troopers on patrol spotted Wells standing outside of his car in a parking lot not too far from the bank. And as they approached him, they also noticed the large bulge around his neck. And they were like, that's strange, but they kept approaching. And he seemed surprised as they tackled him and threw him to the ground, cuffing his hands behind his back.
Damn.
He didn't resist arrest, but he explained that even though he was the person who, yes, had just robbed the bank, he was just as much a victim as anybody else was. According to Brian, he had been accosted by a group of young black men earlier that afternoon, his words, and they cuffed the bomb around his neck and told him that they were only going to remove it once he robbed the bank. And he yelled at them, the police, warning them, "It's going to go off. I'm not lying." So this is serious as fuck.
If that is true, because I don't know what came out of this, so I don't know what the theories are. I don't know what any of this is. If that's true, that is the scariest thing I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is you're sitting there with an explosive device around your neck that you know is real.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there being like, I swear I'm not, please get this thing off of me.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, eh.
It sounds like Saw.
Because that's the thing.
That's
it's
all
like,
I could think of in the beginning of this. I was like, this literally sounds like, do you want to play a game?
Like, are you sure it wasn't like an older white man who put that around your neck?
Yeah.
Like, are you sure? An ailing white man.
Funny you should say that.
Ooh.
So the troopers ordered Wells to sit on the ground beside his car, and they obviously backed away slowly to their cars. They called the bomb squad, called reinforcements to the scene. And just as troopers were calling for backup, a TV news crew arrived at the scene and started filming this very bizarre, drawn-out arrest, which it's, like, the video is available, and it's absolutely horrifying. It does not end well. So for 25 minutes, Brian Wells just sat on the ground beside his car, his hands cuffed behind his back, his legs were curled underneath him. And they were just sitting there waiting for the bomb squad, yelling back and forth to each other, like him and the officers. He asked if they would call his boss at Mamma Mia's pizzeria to tell them that he was being detained and like wasn't going to make it back to work. And then he yelled, "Why is nobody trying to come get this thing off of me?"
Oh,
And then
this is really upsetting.
it's really upsetting. And this next part is even more upsetting. Then, without warning, the device around his neck started making a beeping sound that was accelerating. And for the first time that afternoon, he became like visibly anxious and started scooting backwards on the ground. And they're yelling at him like, "You need to stay put." But how do you in that situation?
Like, what?
And a few seconds later, to the shock and horror of absolutely everybody at that scene, the device around his neck detonated, knocking him onto his back, obviously, and it ripped a 5-inch hole through his chest.
Oh my God.
Which obviously killed him instantly. And 3 minutes later, the bomb squad arrived.
Oh,
Like,
that sucks.
it does. So for the rest of the day, agents from the local office of the FBI, along with agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and the local police, all just converged on the explosion scene, trying to figure out what the fuck had happened there. It was clear that he was the man who robbed the bank earlier that day, and he said as much. And like his face had clearly been seen on camera. But what was unclear was if he was a willing participant in the robbery or if he had been put up to it like he said. Obviously, they couldn't just take his word at face value.
Because it wouldn't seem that he's a willing participant if that thing is locked around his neck and he's sitting there being like, "You got to get it off me."
And the fact that it did explode, like, why would anybody ever sign up for that?
Yeah.
You know? So through interviews with his friends and coworkers, investigators were able to put together a picture of Brian's life that indicated he really wasn't the kind of person who would have likely been able to pull off a stunt like this.
Okay.
His boss, Tony DeTorno, told a reporter, "I've known Brian for a long time. He wouldn't kill a fly. He wouldn't harm nobody." Others who knew him said the same thing. His coworker, Jim Sabowski, said, "He never seemed mad. I never heard him talk of violence. That's why this crime doesn't fit him. Not at all."
Oh, that's and the fact that he had them like call his boss
Yeah, to say like he wasn't going to make
be
it.
late or not be there.
Yeah.
Like, that broke my heart.
It's very sad. Now, obviously, this kind of thing happens all the time. Like we've talked about this. People can conceal certain parts of themselves and do awful things while putting on a nice face to everyone else in their life. But something more compelling was the descriptions of Brian Wells. A lot of people described him as childlike. People said he was too simple, their words, not mine, to have orchestrated something like this. Like, it's a very elaborate
put together
scheme.
that bomb.
Exactly. According to those who knew him, he had dropped out of high school during sophomore year. And he had some basic skills as a car mechanic, but he didn't have a lot of technical skills. So, like you were just saying, like he struggled using his computer.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be...
Putting together a bomb feels like it would be
a little...
advanced.
Yeah, exactly. So people were like, I don't know. So when investigators searched his car, they found, among other things, the cane that he was seen holding in the security footage. But upon closer inspection, it turned out that it wasn't a cane. So that teller was onto something. It was a homemade shotgun disguised as a cane.
Shit.
Isn't that crazy? And similarly, when bomb technicians analyzed the explosive collar, it was also a very creatively designed device constructed from a locking metal collar and a bunch of kitchen timers and a small box that held 2 6-inch pipe bombs. But in addition to the functional parts, there were also several wires that ran in and out of the box but connected to nothing. So whoever put this together had placed those wires that didn't go anywhere as decoys.
I was just going to say it's like little decoy wires.
Yeah, to basically like whoever was going to
fuck with the bomb squad or
exactly.
whoever. Yeah,
exactly.
Like that's advanced.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing, and it was also pretty clear this was not the first time they had built something like this. To build it, one, so well to be functional, and two, to add those extra things. So it was now abundantly clear that if Brian Wells was even a willing participant at all, he obviously hadn't acted alone.
Yeah.
Along with the gun and the bomb, technicians also discovered several handwritten notes, just like the one that was given to the teller, that seemed to be elaborate instructions for what was kind of looked to be like a bizarre scavenger hunt, is like the best way you can put it. The notes were all addressed to bomb hostage and included instructions, but like very complex instructions, drawings, and other information telling him what he needed to do to survive this. It really is very Saw.
Which also doesn't make it seem like he's involved.
No, exactly.
It's like he's the hostage.
Exactly. It's literally addressed to a hostage. One note said, there is only one way you can survive this, and that is to cooperate completely. This powerful booby-trapped bomb can be removed only by following our instructions. Act now, think later, or you will die.
This is the most Saw thing I've ever heard.
It really is.
Like, I'm like, what?
When you find out how this was all put together, it's actually one of the scariest, no matter what, it's the scariest shit you've ever heard. But then you come to find out like who was involved and how this all came to be. And the reason for why it came to be is just, it just doesn't seem to line up with any of this, but it also does at the same time. It's wild.
And was this 2003?
2003, yeah.
What's crazy is Saw, the first one, came out in 2004.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? I was
That's
expecting there to
interesting.
be some kind of
Connection there.
connection of maybe like somebody saw something, but no. No pun intended.
That's crazy, huh?
But wow.
Remember the day that we just watched almost all of the Saw movies and John came home from work and was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
And I also remember the day that I watched the first Saw movie.
Yeah.
And how it changed my entire
I think the day that you and I watched them all was the day that I had seen them for the first time ever.
The first Saw movie
So good.
changed things. That twist.
Yeah.
I'll never feel that feeling again.
I mean, you write a pretty good twist.
I appreciate
You
that.
give that feeling.
Oh, Lee Wanell. You know?
Lee
He
Wanell.
gives that feeling.
You know how she feels about Lee Wanell.
Lee Wanell.
Go listen to The Invisible Man.
One sunny day, a honeybee was merrily buzzing through an orchard when she stopped to collect nectar from a mystery apple blossom. She passed that pollen along to a Honeycrisp tree, and months later, the sugar bee apple was born. Naturally sweet, with layered notes of caramel, honey, molasses, and the perfect crunch. The world has embraced the sugar bee apple, a pure delight for snacking and baking. Download our new free recipe book and find a store near you at hellosugarbee.com. Sugar bee apples, from bee to you.
Struggling with bloat or indigestion? You're not alone. 2 out of 3 Americans suffer from poor gut health. I'm Tina Anderson, co-founder of Just Thrive Probiotic. As a mom of 3, when no probiotic solved my family's tummy troubles, I created my own. Just Thrive Probiotic is the only probiotic that arrives 100% alive in your gut, supporting 5-star digestion, immunity, and better sleep. We even have a formula for pets. Use code SIRIUS for 20% off at justthrivehealth.com/serious.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.
So the information gathered during an interview with Brian's boss supported the growing likelihood that he was a victim.
Yeah.
According to his boss, he had been sent out on a delivery a few hours before the robbery. So he was like at work that day that this all started.
Like delivering pizzas.
Delivering pizzas. He got a call. He went to an address on Peach Street, which was like an industrial area in South Erie. And aside from a television transmission tower, the area where the order was sent to had a handful of small houses, multiple vacant lots. Like it wasn't super populated.
Yeah.
It was just like a smaller town area. And given that he left the restaurant a little after 1:30 and never returned, investigators suspected that's where everything had started.
Makes sense.
FBI agent Bob Hebel told reporters he is sent to a non-residence. He goes where there's no house. Right from the beginning, there's certainly something suspicious here.
This is even scarier that he was just doing his job, going to a house, and they just snatched him.
It seems that way.
Is what it seems like. And
Yeah.
that idea is terrifying.
The entire thing is fucking horrifying. So Wells having been sent to deliver a pizza to a non-address, like that was weird, obviously. But it wasn't the only weird thing that happened just before the robbery. At the time of his death, he was wearing 2 t-shirts, and the outer shirt had the Guess logo on it. And according to the people he was working with at the pizzeria that day, he wasn't wearing that shirt when he left. And his family members insisted they had never seen him wearing that shirt and didn't even think that it belonged to him.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Like they put that shirt on him.
And why, you know?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would be the...
I don't really understand that piece of it.
Is it supposed to be like ironic?
Maybe.
Like, guess what's in here?
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
probably.
mean? Like, are they being
like
dicks?
a
a weird,
lol?
gross, dark humor thing?
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
Ew. I hate that even more.
I hate that I thought that way, but here
We've
we are.
covered a lot of these
Yeah.
cases, so it makes sense. And also, we're just screaming about Lee Wanell, so it makes sense.
That's very true.
Yeah, we know who you are.
I'll forever scream about Lee Wanell.
So while agents were digging into his background and searching his home, a second set of investigators was trying to complete the scavenger hunt themselves, hoping, maybe it would lead them to any co-conspirators. After the bank robbery, the note instructed Wells to go to a McDonald's restaurant nearby and look for a rock near the drive-through sign. And under that rock, he was to find the next note. That was as far as he had made it, but he was arrested just after he picked up the note.
Okay.
So the team followed the instructions in that note, and that led them to a wooded area out by Peach Street, which is where they located the next note, hidden in a container covered in orange tape. That note directed them 2 miles south to a small road sign where the next clue would be waiting in a jar in the woods.
Did he even have time to complete all this? That's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Did they even give him enough time to get conceivably through, like, even the container covered in orange tape?
Yeah.
You gotta get through that.
I don't know.
It feels like...
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So when they got to the location where the next clue was supposed to be, they found nothing.
Oh.
So they theorized that whoever had been leaving the clues for Brian Wells had been following his progress and had probably abandoned the plan when they saw him getting arrested by the state troopers.
Okay.
So unsurprisingly, the story about the bank robbery and the collar bomb obviously immediately captivated everybody's attention, like public-wise. FBI agent Bob Rudge told reporters, it's not unusual for bank robbers to force tellers to hand over money by claiming to be carrying explosives. But bank robbers who actually have explosives are a bit more unusual. And bank robbers who actually die when bombs go off are virtually unheard of.
Yeah.
What makes this case different is that the robber was killed. But unfortunately, if the press and public were hoping for easy answers or a quick resolution, they were going to be very disappointed. A flurry of statements from law enforcement officials went out, but there would really be little to update the press on in the days that followed.
Yeah.
This all just kind of hit a dead end pretty quickly. So within a week of the robbery and Brian Wells' death, investigators hadn't made any progress on the case, and they started turning to the public for help. They released pictures of the bomb collar in the hopes that somebody might recognize it, which I'm like, I'm unsure about, like...
Imagine just being like, oh shit, and this is calling in.
I saw that at Ted's house.
Oh my god, I know that caller.
Yeah.
Like, seen that.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
I mean, you gotta try, I guess.
I guess. What else are you gonna do?
never know.
I don't, maybe...
Criminals can be stupid, so...
They can. And, like, maybe the way it was constructed might stick out to somebody.
Or, like, people sold some of the parts to somebody. Like, that giant... Because that giant piece that looks like a big handcuff is pretty unique. I wonder if somebody was like, oh...
I sold that to
I
so-and-so.
rarely sell those, but I did sell that.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah.
But by then, the case had obviously attracted national attention, and FBI agents were appearing on news programs like Good Morning America, here, there, and everywhere to talk about the case. Even though there was an increase in public attention, though, new leads were scarce, and the public was growing very frustrated by the lack of progress here, which I can't imagine living in this area and being like, so we don't know who tied a bomb around somebody's neck and
and are they
going to
do it again?
Exactly. Like, is somebody just going to get kidnapped and have that happen?
Imagine delivering pizzas in this place.
Oh, I just wouldn't. I'd be like, well, I'll work here and I'll make the pizza, but you are not sending my ass anywhere.
I'll do whatever you need in this pizza shop, but I will not be going out on the street.
Yeah, bitch, I'll clean the toilets
Like
in
these
this
poor
pizza
people
shop.
who, like, literally that's their income.
Yeah.
And they're now having to be like, cool, I guess I just put my life on the line.
Yeah, delivering
these
pizzas. Like, what the
which
fuck?
I shouldn't have to be doing.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Scary shit.
Yeah.
So just days after Brian Wells' death, reporters descended on Erie, of course. People are like, what the like, we got to get some kind of story out of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a story in and of itself. A lot of them focused on Brian Wells' coworkers and his family members, which is fucked up. Maybe give them like a minute to grief.
Yeah.
But a reporter and a photographer for the Erie Times News decided to go out to the address on Peach Street where Brian had been sent for the pizza delivery, which was pretty smart. I don't know why. It just immediately made me think of Gail Weathers and Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
Just like taking
She
a
would
different
do that.
route. You know what I mean?
She would do that.
Yeah. At first, it didn't really seem like there was a lot to be seen out by the transmission tower in that whole area. But just as they were about to leave, the reporter spotted a man just standing in his front yard a few feet from the tower. Ooh. And they were like, there's a story there.
This also reminds me of the reporter and the photographer from Hell House LLC who go back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So the man that they saw standing in his yard was Bill Rothstein, a local handyman and a lifelong resident of Erie. He didn't really take much notice of the heavy police presence and obvious investigation taking place just a few yards from his house. He seemed pretty unbothered by it.
Yeah, he's got his own stuff, you know?
He's vibing. He didn't seem to know anything about Brian Wells either, but he was happy to talk to the reporter. He even offered to take them on a little tour of the area around the tower.
Wow.
He said, these are the trees, these are the houses.
He said the ground.
And this is Peach Street.
Yep.
That's the tower.
If you look up, there's sky here.
This is my yard. It's my fence.
It's crazy.
After about 15 minutes, when he had run out of things to say, the reporter and the photographer went on their way. Okay. The Erie Times News reporter probably assumed that that would be the first and last time that he would ever talk to or hear of that man.
I wouldn't assume that.
You might after after that quick old tour. But less than a month later, Bill's name came up again, this time under very different circumstances.
Uh-oh.
So on September 20th, 2003, Bill Rothstein called 911 and told the dispatcher, at 8645 Peach Street, in the garage, there is a frozen body. It's in the freezer.
Bill.
I love, there's a frozen body. It's in the freezer.
He was like, just to be clear.
It's a little redundant, babe.
Just to be clear, it is in a freezer.
It's in the freezer.
What, Bill? Yeah. What have you gotten into, Bill?
Well, the address.
What have you found?
So he gave that address.
Okay.
Like it wasn't his own, but it sure was his own.
That's his fucking house?
Yeah.
Bill.
He said, go to this address and you'll find a body in the freezer. By the way, it's my fucking address.
Bill, what
Except
has
he didn't
happened?
say the last part. So they were dispatched to his house,
What the
police,
fuck?
where they discovered, in fact, a body in the freezer.
Was it frozen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I can't.
It was the body of James Roden in Bill's own chest freezer, just like he said. So he was arrested right then and there on suspicion of murder.
Bill, you got to come with us.
Yeah, they said, you're coming with us, buddy.
Thank you so much for letting us know about this, but you got to come with us.
Yeah. So Bill was like, listen, that guy is totally in my freezer. Like I said, did not kill him though. I have nothing to do with his death.
Who among us?
Who hasn't found themselves
Who
there?
among us has not found a body in their own chest freezer
That they didn't murder.
and had to say, guys, I didn't do that.
Wasn't
I
me.
know this is my freezer. I don't know how you got there.
Babe, if it's in your house and it's in your freezer, that's now your property.
That's your problem.
Like, and your problem, exactly.
You're responsible for that.
So he said, no, I did not kill James Roden, but I did participate in the cover-up of his murder. He said, he said that fact had been tormenting him since the moment he agreed to hide the body at his house 5 weeks earlier.
Oh. Okay.
You have had a body in your freezer, my guy. Scratch that, guy.
A guy.
For over a month.
Bill.
And you just called? How much was it really, really tormenting you?
Bill, what's that about?
Bill?
Bill.
Who are you friends with, Bill?
Bill.
So he said
I was rooting for Bill.
I was too.
Given his little tour.
Yeah. So this next part's really sad. He said that he was contemplating suicide, and he even went as far as writing a suicide note, but that he changed his mind and he decided to turn himself in instead.
I think that is a good idea.
So in their search of his home, investigators did in fact find Bill's suicide note on his desk. Written in black marker, the note contained repeated apologies. It identified the body in the freezer as James Roden and insisted that he himself, Bill, had nothing to do with the death, and it was basically everything that he told police when he was arrested. But what was much more interesting than all the stuff that Bill had already told the police was the note's opening disclaimer, which read, "This has nothing to do with the Wells case," referring to Brian Wells. Why the fuck would the dead body in your freezer have anything to do with the man who was killed in an explosion after robbing a bank?
Did you just tattle on yourself? Like what?
Period.
What's that? Like
Yes.
what's that's why would you say that?
Why
Like,
the fuck would
that
you
have
ever
any-
say that?
They would have never
In a million
connected
years.
those two things in a bit. There's nothing that would make you connect those two things except for location.
Like
being
I said,
this
apples,
was the last
zebras.
Yeah.
Like I've said before.
Like sure, location could maybe make them be like, whoa, weird. Like Peach Street is really fucking popping off over here.
Yeah.
Like that could be a thing.
Yeah, Peach Street is wily.
But like, let them do that. Let them be like, whoa, Peach Street is.
You know what? We shouldn't say never in a million years, but like it would have taken at least a little longer.
It would have taken and I just don't know why you would hand them that.
Well,
Which again, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but it's weird to point that out.
It's weird. So in the days that followed, Bill explained his connection and how James Roden had come to be in his freezer. According to him, he got a call from his ex-girlfriend, Marjorie Dale Armstrong, whose face I woke up to many nights in 2018.
That's her face. Okay.
He got a call from her in mid-August, and she frantically asked for his help. She alleged that she had gotten into a very heated argument over money with her boyfriend at the time, James Roden, and that in the process of that argument, she had shot him in the back and killed him. So she offered Bill $2,000 to help her get rid of James's body and the gun, and Bill said, "Let's go."
You gotta not do that.
$2,000 is not enough money. That's a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money.
To hide
not enough to hide a body in your freezer and get rid of a gun.
When someone calls you, especially an ex, and says,
You broke up for a reason, Bill.
I just killed my current partner.
Yeah.
Will you help me cover this up? The answer is always no.
You don't even have to answer. The answer is dead air. Click.
One, don't answer the phone when your ex calls.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip.
And you can change their name in your phone to don't answer.
You can do that. And then two, if you do by chance answer and they say, "Hey, I just murdered my current partner. Will you please help me fix that?" You say, "No, thank you." And then you just click.
In your version, you're polite about it.
Yeah, say,
no,
I mean,
thank
you should. They're a murderer now. So like you should be like, "No, thank you."
Little polite.
No, thank you. Like
I do the click and then I'd go arm my system.
Yeah, that's a no.
My system,
It's a
my
no.
security.
No, thank you so much for thinking of me.
Hope you're doing well.
I've got a lot on my plate right now.
All the best with that.
And I wish you luck.
My freezer
But
is full of yummies.
You hang it up and you call 911 and you say, "Uh-oh."
That's the other thing. You know that Bill had to like take out some TV dinners.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
That's the thing.
It's fucked up.
That's a lot for an ex.
$2,000?
Yeah.
Not worth it.
This is fucked up.
Real fucked up.
This whole thing.
All of it. So
All of
Bill said he had finally decided to go to the police when just a few days earlier, Marjorie suggested to him that they use an ice crusher to dismember James Roden's body.
I mean, you give an inch, they're going to ask for a mile.
And you know what? You did give an inch, Bill.
yeah.
So it turned out that this was not the first time the police in Erie had come across Marjorie Dale Armstrong. In 1984, she was arrested for shooting and killing her then boyfriend, Robert Thomas. Completely different guy. Yeah.
What the fuck?
At the time, she claimed that he was being physically and sexually abusive toward her and that she shot him in self-defense. And 4 years later, she was acquitted of murder and she got probation for carrying an unlicensed firearm.
Okay.
It turned out that James Roden's death wasn't Bill Rothstein's first association with killing either.
Oh, my.
In 1970, Peachtree really does go crazy.
I was going to say Peach Street.
What an unassuming name.
Yeah.
They should name it like Killer Street,
The rotten
Crazy
Peach
Street, Nutso Street,
Yeah.
Pop Off Street,
Poop Street.
Poop Street. No TV dinners here Street. So in 1977, Bill played a similar role in the murder of local Erie newspaper printer William Berry. In that case, Rothstein provided the gun that was used in the shooting and gave Berry's killer, Louis Alesi, a ride home from the scene of the murder.
He's getting himself.
Yeah.
It's sticky.
It is
Sticky
sticky.
situation.
It is sticky. 2 years later, Bill was granted immunity in exchange for his testimony against Alesi, who ended up being sentenced to 10 years for third-degree murder. Lead investigator Dominic DiPaolo told reporters, "You would think that someone who was involved in a homicide years ago would have learned his lesson, but for whatever reason, it looks like this guy didn't."
Apparently not.
That's pretty much what you just said.
Yeah.
So 2 days after Bill was arrested, this most recent time, police picked up Marjorie Dale Armstrong and charged her with the murder of James Roden. A quick check of their records revealed that Marjorie had actually filed a protection from abuse order against James Roden about a month earlier, and a hearing had been scheduled. So in her defense, she claimed that she had nothing to do with James Roden's death, and she blamed it on Bill. So now we're pointing fingers at each other.
Oh.
According to her, she said she got home on the afternoon of August 13th, and she found her boyfriend dead. She said, "I never touched the body. I never saw it. Don't even know what it looks like. He did it all."
Whoa.
I'm like, you probably do know what he looks like, though, because he was your boyfriend.
A flip-flop.
Yeah. So despite her repeated claims of innocence, the evidence and Bill Rothstein's statement to police obviously implicated Marjorie Dale Armstrong in James Roden's death. And by January 2004, she was indicted on charges of homicide, aggravated assault, and abuse of a corpse, among a few other things.
Whoa.
So in the months that followed, the defense and the prosecution argued back and forth over all the pretrial motions and all that stuff until the trial date was finally set for mid-January 2005. But just days before the trial, Marjorie Dale Armstrong surprised everybody by accepting a plea deal where she would plead guilty to third-degree murder and abuse of a corpse in exchange for a sentence of 7 to 20 years. And in her confession, she alleged that, quote, her mental illness had prevented her from understanding that her actions were wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I mentioned a minute ago, James Roden was unfortunately not the only man who Marjorie Dale Armstrong had killed. In fact, according to journalist Rich Shapiro, Dale Armstrong was one of Erie's most notorious figures, well known for her string of dead lovers.
Whoa.
In addition to James Roden and Robert Thomas, who I told you she did kill, she alleges in self-defense, Marjorie's former husband, Richard Armstrong, also died under suspicious circumstances in 1988. Officially, his cause of death was cerebral hemorrhage and was ruled accidental. But according to Shapiro, Richard Armstrong had a head injury when he arrived at the hospital, but the case was never forwarded to the coroner's office.
What the fuck was wrong with that hospital?
I don't know, man.
You forward that shit.
You gotta.
That's wild.
Yeah. So the deaths connected to Marjorie were not the only things that made her notorious in Erie. As far back as high school, she had a reputation for being incredibly intelligent. She was a very smart woman, but she was wildly unstable. She did have a lot of mental health issues. Court records indicate that she had been diagnosed with bipolar in the past, and that when she was manic, she would demonstrate very strange behavior. In one incident just before the shooting of Robert Thomas in 1984, investigators were called to her house for a well-being check. And when they entered the home, you will never be prepared for this information. I just need you to know. When they entered the home, and this is not exaggeration, they found 400 pounds of butter and more than 700 pounds of cheese in the house, which sounds fucking awesome, except that all of it was rotting. Sit with that. Sit with that.
It was how you said, which sounds fucking...
I love butter and cheese. I'm a thick girl. Rotting? No thanks. 400... Where does one even purchase 400 pounds of butter?
I do love butter.
I bought like 3 boxes of butter the other day to bake, and I felt cuckoo. I was like, "Oh, this person's my Instacart driver is gonna be like, damn, bitch, 400 pounds."
I don't even know what that looks like.
I can't consider.
Like,
where do you put
fathom
that? 700 pounds of cheese I can sort of conceive of because those big ass cheese wheels.
Do you think that's what they are?
I don't know.
Just wheels of cheese?
I kind of hope so.
Or is it
I mean, it's all rotting, so obviously it wasn't all in the refrigerator. Obviously, that Bill didn't have room in his fucking freezer back then.
No.
Doesn't have room for butter and cheese, but has room for a dead body.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's also, like, in all seriousness, that's also a very clear indication that something is wildly
Very wrong.
awry
Yes, very much so.
People don't just have 400 pounds of butter and 700 pounds of cheese rotting in their house.
You know what's crazy is somebody in the comments will argue with you about that.
Yes, probably.
But that's a fact.
But I do think that is a very clear indication that something is off.
I think so too.
Personally.
So just a few months later, Marjorie was arrested for the shooting death of Thomas. So obviously, like, she wasn't in a, like, we laugh about the butter and the cheese, but in all seriousness, like you just said, something was going on.
Yeah.
And there was a clear path.
Exactly.
So during the investigation of Thomas's death, Marjorie was evaluated by a psychiatrist who described her as paranoid and narcissistic. And in that case, she actually had to be evaluated 7 times before she was deemed fit to aid in her own defense during the trial.
Wow.
Apparently she really wanted to. So throughout the investigation into James Roden's death now, we're back to where we started a little. Detectives hadn't forgotten about Bill Rothstein's suicide note and the opening claim that Roden's murder had, quote, nothing to do with the Brian Wells case.
Yeah.
They were like, why did he write that? Why would somebody open a suicide note by declaring emphatically that they had nothing to do with a murder that they were never suspected of committing in the first place.
And apparently didn't really know much about anyways, according to that journalist.
Exactly.
When they spoke to them.
Yeah.
Seemed like he didn't really know anything about it.
Or is he just a really good actor?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, by that time, Bill had passed away from lymphoma. So he wasn't going to be able to provide any insight into the unsolved death of Brian Wells. But Marjorie Dale Armstrong was, and as it turned out, she was willing to talk for a price.
Well, let's hear it, Marjorie.
One sunny day, a honeybee was merrily buzzing through an orchard when she stopped to collect nectar from a mystery apple blossom. She passed that pollen along to a Honeycrisp tree, and months later, the sugar bee apple was born. Naturally sweet, with layered notes of caramel, honey, molasses, and the perfect crunch. The world has embraced the sugar bee apple, a pure delight for snacking and baking. Download our new free recipe book and find a store near you at hellosugarbee.com. Sugar bee apples, from bee to you.
Struggling with bloat or indigestion? You're not alone. 2 out of 3 Americans suffer from poor gut health. I'm Tina Anderson, co-founder of Just Thrive Probiotic. As a mom of 3, when no probiotic solved my family's tummy troubles, I created my own. Just Thrive Probiotic is the only probiotic that arrives 100% alive in your gut, supporting 5-star digestion, immunity, and better sleep. We even have a formula for pets. Use code SIRIUS for 20% off at justthrivehealth.com/serious.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter, from plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.
So in the summer of 2005, not long after Marjorie started serving her sentence for the James Roden murder, FBI agents were still working the Wells collar bomb case. And we're like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah.
And they got a call from Erie detectives who were wrapping up loose ends on the Roden murder still. It was during one of their post-conviction conversations with Marjorie that she casually brought up Bill's suicide and his suicide note. According to Marjorie, Bill had lied when he said that James Roden's death had nothing to do with Brian Wells. Actually, she said, it had everything to do with it. And if they were willing to arrange for a transfer for her, she would tell them all about it.
Oh.
Yeah, she wanted to go to a minimum security facility.
Oh, excuse me.
She said, if you move me over there, I'll tell you everything. So according to her, Brian Wells, and remember, this is according to her, who is convicted of a crime and
Yes.
struggles with mental health.
Yes.
According to her, Brian Wells was not a victim in the collar bombing case. He was also one of the perpetrators. She claimed that the entire plot to rob the PNC Bank of $250,000 had actually been masterminded by Bill Rothstein himself.
Oh my God,
Himself.
Bill.
I just stuttered, or not stuttered, lisped. He also, she said, built the cane gun and the collar bomb. When investigators searched Bill's house, they did end up finding several items that somebody might use in a bomb construction.
Oh.
So that was interesting. But to hear Marjorie tell it, it was Bill and Brian Wells who were behind the entire scheme, and all she had done was just give them some kitchen timers to use in the explosive. She was just helping a couple of pals out.
I just don't understand
Yeah,
why that makes sense for Brian.
it doesn't.
Okay.
So what Marjorie didn't know at the time of her meeting with the FBI was that they already suspected her of being involved in that entire plot, the bomb collar plot. In previous weeks, they had actually met with multiple informants, including Bill's former roommate, Floyd Stockton, and his ex-wife, Janet Ponsford, who actually kept detailed notes about their interactions with Marjorie.
Oh.
So like Marjorie, Floyd Stockton had also known Bill for decades, and they were all a part of this group of very local, antisocial, very smart intellectual people.
Okay.
It was kind of a group of outcasts who were
really smart,
genius level smart, who hung out every now and again. So by the time Marjorie was convicted, Floyd Stockton had also just started serving his own prison sentence after he was found guilty of sexually assaulting a teenager who had developmental disabilities. So he's disgusting.
Wow.
And also keep in mind,
Wow.
he was talking because he was looking for anything that was going to lessen his sentence.
What a group of shitheads.
Truly.
Truly.
And like, I hate sitting here and saying that they're this like intellectual group of people, because like obviously not, because they're doing the things that they're doing.
But it's like,
but they're intellectual on a different level. Like, I'm not
like, they are able to comprehend complex concepts.
Thank you.
For certain topics.
Thank you.
But they are obviously not able to understand the difference between being, well, they do. That's the thing. I think
they're
they
just
do
evil.
understand. They're just bad people.
Exactly. But I just don't want anybody to think I'm praising them.
Bad people, unfortunately, can be book
Cunning.
smart. Mm-hmm. And that's just the way this is.
Mm-hmm. So Floyd Stockton wasn't the only member of Marjorie's bizarre social circle who found themselves in trouble with the law and wanted to exchange information for freedom or like a lesser sentence.
So they're all just gross.
Oh yeah, and there's more. Not long after investigators spoke with Floyd and Janet, another witness came forward with what would prove to be some of the most important testimony in this entire case.
Oh shit.
It was late in 2005 at this point, and Marjorie was already talking to the FBI when agents got a call about a recently arrested crack dealer named Kenneth Barnes. This all just gets crazy.
Is there anything that's not in this case?
I don't know.
No.
I tried to come up with
The answer
something,
is
but
no.
there was already 400 pounds of butter. So.
Yeah, there was. There's really nothing you can point to.
So now we're talking about a recently arrested crack dealer named Kenneth Barnes.
Okay.
So like Bill Rothstein and Floyd Stockton, Kenneth Barnes had kind of a talent with mechanics and had worked as a repairman for many years, but hadn't been able to maintain a steady job, so he turned to selling drugs to support himself. Apparently, he had spoken too loudly and too often about the PNC Bank robbery, and after he was arrested on drug charges, his brother-in-law reported him to the police on suspicion of murder.
Uh-oh.
Now threatened with more jail time for the murder of Brian Wells, Kenneth Barnes caved and agreed to give the DA a detailed account of the entire plan that had to do with the pizza bomb caller in exchange for a lighter sentence.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is deep.
It really is, and it involves so many different players.
Yeah.
So the story that Kenneth Barnes told the FBI about the bomb collar plot would have been unbelievable, but it kind of corroborated the evidence and what they already suspected about the case. Obviously not every piece of it, like, who knows if every piece of it is true or is not, because there's so many people involved
that
here
are talking and
looking for something.
Trying to save their own ass. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
But I just have to tell you what they said.
Damn.
So according to Kenneth Barnes, Marjorie had masterminded the entire bomb plot in order to get a large sum of money, which she planned to use to pay a hitman to murder her father. So when I said the reason at the center of this is just so absolutely unbelievable.
What?
Yeah.
She set this whole thing up, allegedly, and
To hire
this guy
a
died
hitman. Yeah.
so that she could hire a hitman to commit another murder.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she worried that her dad was spending his own fortune too fast and that there wasn't going to be anything left for her when he died. So she ought to just kill him now, she felt.
I'm
speechless.
I don't know, man.
So Barnes, he said he didn't know the details about that plan.
Who does? But I don't even think she does.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't really know all of the details about the pizza bomb plan, but what he did know was that Marjorie had roped the other man into the plan, basically by just like bullying them until they all agreed to help her.
Wow.
Which I do believe.
I mean, yeah.
I woke up in the night to her face many times, and I just believe that she could bully people into doing some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So according to Barnes, and again, according to him, Brian Wells had only agreed to wear the bomb collar because he thought it wasn't real.
Oh.
Yeah. He also alleged that Marjorie had murdered James Roden because he knew about the plot and he was going to tell about the robbery.
Okay.
So it's all kind of becoming connected.
The Brian Wells thing still isn't adding up to me, though, because I'm like, they said he seemed genuinely anxious and scared at the end of that. Like, this is going to happen. If he didn't think that was real, why was he freaking out?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's all,
but I don't know. Again,
it's all very strange, and that's why I'm saying, like, take what they're saying with a grain of salt, because we don't know. At the end of the day, like, Brian Wells isn't here to say, and he died a horrific death.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to speculate
if he was part of it.
Yeah. But the next time investigators met with Marjorie in February 2006 now, she had her attorney by her side, fully expecting to make a deal with the state because she has no idea that now all these people are coming forward and
Her being like, Marjorie did it.
yeah, being like, she bullied us for far too long.
Yeah.
Instead of being offered a deal, though, she was informed that she was now being indicted for the murder of Brian Wells and several other crimes associated with the bomb collar plot.
Oops.
According to Rich Shapiro, when Marjorie was first informed of the indictment, she went, quote, ballistic, slamming her fist on a conference table and cursing out the agents and her own lawyer.
Whoa.
But that didn't stop her from continuing to fill in the gaps in Kenneth Barnes' account of the robbery, and she kind of spilled everything.
Oh.
For hours, she went over the entire plan, telling agents where she was on the day and even offering to take them on a tour of the area to point out the logistics of the plan. So she like lost it on them and then was like, fine, I'll tell you everything.
I'll tell you everything.
But, like,
all the details.
Like, I think she was trying to say like she wasn't at the
She wanted
forefront
to
of it
control
all.
the narrative at this point.
Precisely. Because remember, she's also a diagnosed narcissist.
Yeah.
So on July 11th, 2007, U.S. Attorney Mary Beth Buchanan held a press conference to announce that after 4 years of intense investigation and more than 1,000 interviews at that point, they had finally broken the case of the collar bomber. In her press conference, Buchanan identified Marjorie Deal Armstrong as the mastermind of the bomb plot, and the motive, she said, was simple greed. Wow. Lead ATF agent Mark Potter told reporters, the investigation was about greed that created fear and resulted in death. The brutality and utter lack of respect for life displayed by the indicted is rarely seen outside of a movie screen.
Yeah.
Which is very true. Now, probably most shocking to everybody at the press conference was that, contrary to what they had assumed originally, investigators now believed that Brian Wells was not just a victim of the bomb plot, but also a participant. They were told that he agreed to wear the bomb collar and rob the bank with the understanding that the bomb was fake and that the scavenger hunt that had perplexed the investigators was just a distraction to fool them and make it seem like Brian wasn't involved.
Okay.
But unfortunately, they said by the time he realized he had been betrayed by his co-conspirators, it was too late. That's their theory. I'm not saying that's mine.
But it's like, have they even proved like a real connection between Brian Wells and these people?
Sort of.
It's like, it just doesn't feel like there was a strong enough
I haven't gotten
thing
fully
here.
to it. So,
You know?
yeah. Well, later that year, Kenneth Barnes pleaded guilty to conspiracy and weapons charges related to the robbery and the death of Brian Wells, and he ended up getting a sentence of 45 years in prison. So I was like, you really thought you were going to get a lighter sentence? But
really?
Here we are. He did agree to testify against Marjorie, though, in exchange for a lighter sentence. But before Marjorie could go to trial, her lawyer filed a motion for a hearing to determine her competency, arguing that she was unfit to assist in her own defense. Which I was like, girl, we've been through this before. Why are you still trying to assist in your own defense?
Just don't do it.
I honestly think it was to delay the trial.
Yeah.
In late 2000,
And she's a diagnosed narcissist, so she thinks she can do it.
Precisely. So in late 2008 now, she was transferred to a federal medical center in Carswell, Texas, where she underwent a 4-month period of observation and evaluation. In her initial evaluation, doctors at the medical center indicated that she was, quote, not cooperative with questioning, engaged in perpetual talking, complained, and was grandiose and paranoid.
Delightful.
Yeah. In the months that followed, her behavior and her symptoms did not seem to get any better. She was frequently described as manic and oppositional. She refused to take her medication. She repeatedly insisted that she was not mentally ill. And other inmates also found themselves in conflict with her all the time. And she was repeatedly reported to the hospital staff for being a, quote, bully, hostile, and mean person.
I buy that.
I mean, it literally
It
fits
makes
with
sense.
exactly what
Yeah.
everyone else was saying, that she basically bullied them into
Yeah.
this. And also, the entire motivation for this was that she wanted to hire a hitman to kill her father.
Because he was spending his money.
So I do believe she's probably a mean person.
She's probably pretty unreasonable.
Probs. So by the end of her observation period, at the end of 4 months, Marjorie had become somewhat more compliant, but that's not really saying much. But in her final evaluation, she was diagnosed again with bipolar disorder and personality disorder with borderline paranoid and narcissistic traits. One psychiatrist wrote, a review of Miss Armstrong's records indicate pervasive and long-standing characterological deficits in her ability to relate and function in social and personal contexts.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, she definitely struggles with her mental health in a big way. But based on the reports from the doctor at the medical center, a federal judge in Pennsylvania concluded that she was definitely not mentally fit to stand trial.
Okay.
Which,
sounds like it.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I kind of agree with that.
Agreed.
So in the 2 years that followed, she was evaluated multiple times until she was finally deemed mentally sound to be able to stand trial. But by that time, she had been diagnosed with glandular cancer, and a doctor estimated that she only had between 3 and 7 years to live.
Whoa.
So despite that grim prognosis, the prosecutor decided to move forward with the trial, and the date was set for October 12th, 2010.
Yeah.
He said,
people
I
died.
don't give a shit.
Yeah. People died.
Yeah, you still need to be prosecuted. So the trial was obviously as sensational and dramatic as you would expect from a story that begins with a bomb collar and a bank robbery. Some of the most damning testimony presented at the trial came from 7 witnesses who testified that Marjorie had revealed various facts about the plot both before and after Brian Wells' death to them. The prosecution's star witness was Kenneth Barnes, and he told the entire story, offering answers to the question that still remained unanswered. Was Brian Wells truly a participant here? But again, we're relying on him who's looking for a lesser sentence.
Yeah.
So according to Barnes, all of Marjorie's co-conspirators had been roped into the plot with the promise of money. But unlike the others, Brian Wells was not motivated by greed. In the months leading up to the robbery, Kenneth said that Wells was in a relationship with a sex worker who he supplied with crack in exchange for sex. However, just a few weeks before the robbery, Kenneth said that Wells found himself in debt to a crack dealer and was desperately in need of money.
Okay.
And it was only because of that debt that he agreed to participate.
Okay. That brings a little more
A little more connection.
a little more, and you can sit there and be like, okay, that sounds more like, just from his characterization, that like he wouldn't just be like, yeah, I just want a shit ton of money for no reason, like the desperation seems like the only way I would even slightly buy that he was a willing participant.
Yeah, but even still.
And even at that point, was he a willing participant? Does desperation count as being a willing participant?
Well, great question. As for his ultimate victimization, Kenneth Barnes explained that on the day of the robbery, Brian Wells realized the bomb was real and he tried to back out of the plan and ran from the house, but he was chased down by Bill Rothstein and the bomb collar was locked on his neck at gunpoint.
Yeah,
so
yes, that's not a willing
he was
participant.
a full-blown victim in all of this.
Yeah, which...
if that's even the case.
If that's the case, that's fucking horrific.
Yeah. So throughout most of the testimony, Marjorie could be seen whispering to her lawyer. She frequently interrupted the testimony, just shouting liar at anybody who said anything unflattering about her. But when it was time for her to take the stand in her own defense, she was equally combative. Rich Shapiro wrote, for 5.5 hours over 2 days, she used the witness stand as her stage. She ridiculed her own lawyer. She belittled the prosecutor. She cried. She yelled.
Ew.
During the testimony, the judge actually reprimanded her more than 50 times with no effect.
Like, why are we still allowing her to speak?
Yeah. But in the end, she did herself no favors by taking the stand.
Why.
Exactly. The jury deliberated for 11 hours before emerging to find her guilty of armed bank robbery, conspiracy, and using a destructive device in a crime of violence. And finally, in late February 2011, she was sentenced to life in prison for the death of Brian Wells, and she got an additional 30 years for the bank robbery. When she was asked for a statement, she told reporters, "My heart goes out to the family. The true killers are still out there."
Oh, fuck you.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck off. So Marjorie and her defense team obviously appealed her sentence to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, arguing that she wasn't competent to stand trial in the first place, but the court ended up siding with the lower court, which just affirmed her sentence.
Yeah.
Ultimately, she really didn't end up spending most of her life in prison or much of her life in prison. On April 4th, 2017, at the age of 68, she died of breast cancer at the Federal Medical Center in Carswell, Texas. And in an odd conclusion to an already very bizarre case, which we've went through almost every detail of today, right after she died, a New York man named Mark Marvin came forward saying he was her common-law husband and argued in a federal court that she was not dead.
Humans aren't okay. We're not all right.
And he said, she's not dead, but if she is, then I want her remains released to me because I am her common-law husband who came out of absolutely nowhere.
Which is it, though?
His request was denied.
It was?
I
What?
can't
What do you
imagine
mean?
why.
I just like the she's not dead, but give me your body.
Yeah.
Which is it?
Okie doke.
You got to pick a lane, babe.
Alrighty.
You got to pick a
If
lane.
anybody has watched The Real Housewives of Chicago, or not Real Housewives, Mob Wives Chicago, it's giving that.
Okay.
So after testifying against Marjorie, Kenneth Barnes' sentence was cut in half, and he's currently serving his sentence at the Federal Medical Center in Butner, North Carolina. That's hilarious to me. And
Butner.
is scheduled to be released in September of 2027.
Oh, okay, Kenneth.
So good luck to
wow.
good luck to that.
Wow.
The most complex, interwoven, full of cheese and butter story
Full of it.
I've ever heard. And at the end of the day, I believe that no matter what the real story is, because I don't think we ever got the real story of Brian Wells' involvement, he's a victim.
Tragic.
Tragic.
It breaks my fucking heart, no matter what happened there.
Horrible way to go.
Yeah, because nothing about that feels like a willing participant. No matter what the situation was, it sounds horrific. And that, I hate that, like, that poor guy's last moments are on film.
Yeah.
And him begging them to take that thing off of him.
It never should have been filmed, and it
like,
never should have been
It's very
put out there.
upsetting. And I remember when this documentary came out, the Evil Genius one on Netflix.
That preview.
That preview, I was like, oh, I don't know.
I never watched the
documentary,
Yeah.
but I remember being so like, what the fuck is this about?
Same.
Because I was like, there's this guy with a bomb on him. Then they show this woman on the thing, but there's like two different pictures of her.
Yeah.
But now it looks like it was like one of her younger and one of her like more recent.
Yup.
And I remember being like, I don't know what this is about. I meant to watch it, but I just never did.
I just couldn't bring myself to watch it because I knew I had already seen that clip, I think
Yeah.
on like one of those
Something
like
had popped
countdown
up.
shows or something
Yeah.
like that. And I was like, I just can't.
I don't wanna
can't
watch
do
it again. Yeah. Yeah.
But what a fucking gnarly
That's a wild
story.
case.
It is. And it just involves so many people. And how do those kind of
nothing
people
good.
find each other?
That's the thing. Nothing good came out of that.
Oh, let me get a quick fun fact though. Okay, guys, I found a fun fact about peeing because Elena just had to take a potty break.
Oh my God. I just drank an entire thing of water during this.
Like a
every
whole
time,
brewmate.
a whole brewmate of water. And I thought I was dying. I was like, I have to pee so bad.
Nothing like the feeling though of when you do that.
Oh, I feel anew.
Well, here's the fun fact. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's wild that I found that as you were leaving to go to
Yeah.
the bathroom. The male giraffe will continuously headbutt the female in the bladder until she urinates. The male then tastes the urine to determine if the female is ovulating, and if so, the merriment begins.
I don't know what I expected,
But it
that
wasn't
was not
that.
it.
That's what I got from randomfactgenerator.com.
Damn. I mean, I guess they don't have like Oura rings or like Apple Watches to tell you when you're ovulating. So they're
Yeah.
like, got to do it the old fashioned.
Is that the old-fashioned way? He tastes her piss to see if she's ovulating?
First of all, he bullies her into peeing.
Yeah, that's rude.
Which at first, when it was like poking her until she pees, I'm like, well, maybe she's like me and she just like doesn't
She
pee
holds
enough.
it.
So he's just trying to be like, you don't want to get a kidney infection, babe.
He says, I want to have
Baby
calves
giraffes.
with you, so I'm going to poke you till you pee, and I can taste your pee and see if I can impregnate you.
I have never heard those words strung together.
And here we are, just like peeing on sticks or checking our Oura rings to see if
Yeah.
we're ovulating.
Holy
A different
shit.
life led.
What a fun fact to end on. Thank you for that.
Well, we hope you keep listening.
Yeah, we do. And we hope you keep it
Weird, but it's so weird that you poke your wife and then taste her piss to see if she's ovulating. You're not a giraffe!
But I mean, like, you're an adult. Do what you want to do.
With consent. Kinky.
Struggling with bloat or indigestion? You're not alone. 2 out of 3 Americans suffer from poor gut health. I'm Tina Anderson, co-founder of Just Thrive Probiotic. As a mom of 3, when no probiotic solved my family's tummy troubles, I created my own. Just Thrive Probiotic is the only probiotic that arrives 100% alive in your gut, supporting 5-star digestion, immunity, and better sleep. We even have a formula for pets. Use code SIRIUS for 20% off at justthrivehealth.com/serious.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well.
Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.